second call for morning practice, and we had a really good practice at the end of the day yesterday, and I'm looking forward to getting out there today and just giving it a little warm up and see if I can stay on pace. Yesterday's pace was pretty good, so I'm hoping this morning will be even better because it's a little less windy than yesterday. We had a lot of gusts yesterday, a lot of hard 20, 30 mile an hour gusts. This morning it's only about 9 or 10 or something. So.
Cause you say you see straight through me, don't you? But on and on, from the moment I wake to the moment
Unfortunately, one of the problems is that we have 2 practice sessions in the morning, and if somebody crashes, then one of the sessions is gone, and then you don't get it. So somebody crashed our session, that was the end of that. So I only get 3 laps. The problem is that you can go out there and you can push it really hard before you race, and you can crash and then not race at all. Or you can push it really hard during the race and then maybe win a race.
I want you to know that you'll always get your way. I wanted to say, don't you see?
February went very, very well for me, and I expected March to go just as well, but it really didn't. It was a lot more work than what I expected it to be, and I had, for the first time ever, an issue with my tires and my setup of my bike.
Fuck, man, that sucked.
What happened?
My tire had too much pressure. My rear tire. It had way too much pressure.
Between the March round and the April round, we went to the track to do some testing. The nice thing about being able to go to the track when you're not racing is that you can actually try some minor changes to the bike, go out there and do an 8-lap session and not be under any pressure. And it doesn't make a difference how quick you go.
We're here today to do some testing, and I'm hoping to get some answers on some suspension questions that I've got. So that's why we're here today. Test day. So today we got the new Corsa shock installed, and it's been interesting. That was my first set on it, and it's definitely much smoother. It's very subtle, it's very smooth. It's not as aggressive as the old shock was. The old shock would bounce you around. It's nice and smooth, so that's a good thing, but it's just not tuned right. It's definitely not tuned right. I don't have very much feeling from the rear end. It's not very good feeling. So I need to do some more testing and some more adjustments and try a couple of radically different settings. Right now the tires aren't even keeping warm.
After the testing in March, we learned that there was something wrong with the bike. It wasn't as simple as the fact the tire was sliding. The tire was sliding because of a reason. And it became more apparent that it was actually the preload, how stiff the rear spring was, that was causing the problems. So that was what I was working on, and that's why I changed the spring out, but then I found out that it was too soft. And so I put the whole old system back in the bike for the April round, so at least I'd be able to ride the thing well. And we went to the track in April with basically the same setup we went to the track with in March, only I spent the entire time in April trying to adjust the shock to get it to be a little bit softer, and it just did not work.
The problem with the bike right now is that it's too stiff in the rear. But it's not stiff like compression stiff, it's stiff like spring stiff. Made some minor corrections to the shock, a little less compression. Hoping that that'll resolve some issue, but doubt it. That was better. Yeah. That last bit of that lap, man, I was sliding that thing around like, dude, I just did my fastest lap time ever. So, yeah, that was good.
A funny thing happened in April, which was the temperatures increased dramatically. which was not expected. And so all of a sudden now, it was hot outside, and I had to deal with riding a bike that I had never ridden in the hot weather with. So the thing was overheating. I blew up my voltage regulator, which meant that my computer kept on shutting off on me. So the April round was worse than the March round. It was so bad that I almost wanted to go home.
I might miss one race. I might miss the next one, the last one when it's a little bit cooler out. I just don't know.
So you don't know where you're going, but you wanna talk. Don't you feel like you've been before?
Computer died.
Did it? Oh man.
I had everything lined up. The brain was working. I'm dressed. I'm ready to go out there, and I go and I let go of the clutch, and it shuts off.
Let's talk.
I mean, it felt like somebody just stabbed me in the heart because I knew that there was no way to catch up to them. They were in the first corner, all through the first corner before I got it running.
I ended up winning my middleweight twins race, which was great, but the rest of the weekend was a total waste. We dicked around with the suspension and it didn't do anything. And that's a real problem when you waste all that time and all that energy in racing to find out that none of what you did actually worked. Between May and October, a lot happened. We ended up doing a lot of stuff to the bike, from putting on a lighter fuel tank to doing a lot more computer changes. Summer was absolutely jam-packed with riding. We rode almost every single weekend. I spent $13,000 on just track days in 2009 just to prepare myself for the end of the year and prepare myself for getting better lap times and actually winning races instead of, getting fourths and fifths because I just was not quick enough.
135, right? Are you happy?
No.
That's your fastest time, no? How can you not be happy?
Also during the summer, we got some answers on what to do with the shock. And so there was a lot of buying components and sending stuff out to builders and getting them building stuff and then getting it back so that in October I would have the right stuff for my bike and I could actually start doing well. Even though it was only 2 rounds left of the year, at the time I assumed that all the energy I put into the bike would translate into 2010 so that it was all worth it in the long run.
So here it is. This is the piece that's supposed to make the whole puzzle come together this weekend. So I think this is going to be a good upgrade. Just putting it in the bike, it looks like it's going to work. It definitely seems a little bit softer right off the bat, so that's exactly what I was looking for. Fingers are crossed.
New shock, new mentality, back to shooting video again, and I was very excited with what was going to happen the last 2 rounds.
So our
first test with the shock was interesting.
Can take a picture of something you see. In the future, where will I be?
Just don't feel confident in the bike because I'm not connecting with it.
Ladder up to the sun.
I'm not feeling the confidence I need to really push hard yet.
Something that's never been done.
You know, I really expected the suspension change to be kind of life altering, but it really wasn't.